This week, we're back in Arizona, hunting the legendary bulls of Arizona's famous Unit 9. Welcome to elk camp. Okay, we just got done with our archery hunt and got a nice bull for Mark, and the muzzleloader hunt starts on Friday, so we're a couple of days away from that. We're gonna go out and check some trail cameras, check our SD cards, and see what's been going on in the trail cameras for the last few days. So we're gonna take the Ranger and go get that taken care of. All right, so we're here at this Arizona Game and Fish water catchment. Got our trail camera. We're gonna look at the SD card and see what we've got on here. I'm Steve Chappell, and welcome to Elk Camp. We're out here a couple days before the muzzleloader hunt starts, and we're out here to do some glassing this evening. We've got a big kind of broken area here that we're going to be able to glass, so we're going to set up, and hopefully the elk will start bugling and come out into the opens. We can take a good look at them through the spotting scope and find a big bull for Bob, who's going to be coming in tomorrow. Hi, Bob. Steve, nice to meet you.
This is going to be one of those days, huh?
I started talking to Bob Saban about 10 to 15 years ago. He called me on the phone, and he'd been building bonus points in Arizona for an elk hunt for a few years. You know, right away we hit it off on the phone. We really shared common interests when it came to elk hunting. You know, sure, Bob wanted to kill a great big bull, but then we also wanted to experience a lot of call-ins, and I knew right away that Bob was my kind of hunter. Okay, Bob, those shots all look real good, man. I mean, I'd say from here within an inch of each other. I think we're ready to go kill an elk, buddy.
I'm ready, my friend.
Shoot.
Yeah.
So before the hunt, we went down and did some scouting on the unit boundary because we had some intel there were some nice elk running in that country. And sure enough, we found a nice bull with some cows. We had also heard that there were a couple other really good bulls down there. So we went ahead and went down there on opening morning, heard some bugling to the south of us. So we got the wind right, moved in position to hopefully cut these elk off. And lo and behold, we heard some shooting to the south of us, and that kind of messed up the plans for the morning, but we still were optimistic that we were going to have a great elk hunt. All right, so we're out here on the muzzleloader hunt. It's the first afternoon of the hunt, and we're back in our honey hole spot where we were hunting on the archery hunt. We're going to hike in here a ways and get on these elk and see if we can call something in good this evening for Bob. So let's do it.
Just everything about Steve told me that was the right decision. And I liked his straightforward answers that he would give me. I liked what I found about his work ethics. I looked at a number of the reviews that people had written on his operation, and I decided that's the kind of guy I want to go on this hunt. I knew it was going to be a hunt that I would never experience before or have the opportunity to do again, and I wanted to do it right. And Steve represented the consummate professional as far as how he ran his business, and that's what I was looking for.
This episode of Elk Camp is sponsored by Bergara Rifles. Our barrels make all the difference. Increase your elk hunting success. Sign up for the University of Elk Hunting online course at elk101.com today.
The evening hunts were mostly pretty slow. So what we would do is we would wait until prime time and we would drive along, and I would do some bugling and cow calling to try to locate some bulls. But for the most part, it was just pretty slow hunting during the evening hunts. So we had to place most of our importance on the morning hunts and really make those count. As with most seasons here in Arizona, the mornings tended to be better. On another morning, we went in the pre-dawn light towards some bugling bulls, found a good setup next to an epic meadow. I started cow calling, and the bulls started committing to the calls. This first bull came in, looked around, didn't see the cow that he'd been coming to, so he moved off. And right as he was leaving, here came another bull right down into the meadow to put on a show for us. This week's tip is using my matriarch cow call. I use the matriarch cow call in the same manner as I use the trophy wife cow call, in that I'm getting the air from my stomach or my own diaphragm, and I'm holding the call in the same manner using my index finger and thumb as if I'm making the OK symbol. Now I'm bringing the air up from my stomach and directing it across the mylar reed with my lips right up close to the castration band, and using just light lip and air pressure, it's going to sound like this. And that's just how I blow it in a hunting situation. It works absolutely outstanding. You can order this call and any of my other calls off of my website, chappellguideservice.com, or you can pick them up at your local sporting goods store. Thanks and good luck on your hunts.
This episode of Elk Camp is sponsored by Steve Chappell's Zero Hunt Fees. Experience Arizona elk hunting with zero hunt fees. This episode of Elk Camp is sponsored by Steve Chappell's signature line of Rocky Mountain hunting calls.
Early on in the hunt, we struggled a little bit to find a bugle on that morning. But we pressed on and finally found a little pod of bugling bulls, moved in on them in the pre-dawn light, got set up, and started calling. We got a little too aggressive with one of the bulls, so the cows spooked a little bit, and I bugled, and lo and behold, we got to see the bull. Cow right over here, I thought he's not going to come to the cow call. Getting him worked up now. Yeah, they are. That encounter caused that bull to move up to a ridge with his cows, and there was another herd bull up there with some cows. They bumped into each other, and I tell you what, it turned into a train wreck up on that ridge line.
I could just tell from being around elk a lot that Steve understands elk, he understands how to talk to elk, and he's really good at it.
Just as we thought everything had ended, my cameraman Raymond happened to notice a small bull coming up from the backside. We got down real quick, blew a couple of calls, and here he came.
You know, it's interesting, you never know quite what to expect on a hunt like this, but Steve provided everything I thought he would. It was a very short time after I met Steve, and it was almost like I'm hanging out with one of my better friends. I liked his personality and his demeanor, and yeah, it was a good experience for me.
This episode of Elk Camp is sponsored by Bergara Rifles. Our barrels make all the difference. This episode of Elk Camp is sponsored by Steve Chappell's Zero Hunt Fees. Experience Arizona elk hunting with zero hunt fees.
We went out pre-daylight and we located some elk. He understood how the elk behave, how they react in the wind, what they do in the different topography where we were hunting, and he had it pegged just perfectly.
It was one of those mornings you dream about as an Arizona elk guide. We got to our spot in the dark. Several bulls were bugling around nearby. Got set up, and I started calling.
it was pretty awesome. A lot of bulls talking. We called that one younger 6-point into 30 yards.
After the small bull came in and checked us out, all at once we heard a big sounding bugle on the other side of the meadow.
Is he hit?
Yep, you got him.
Down.
Bob made an incredible shot on this Arizona Monarch.
Nice shot, Bob. Way to go, buddy.
I heard it hit him, but I couldn't see him.
He stumped him, man.
I had to get over where he had a hole through those trees.
That was fun, man. We called him right out into this meadow, man. That's what I'm talking about. The master did it. The god of elk hunters.
As we made our way down to the bull, our morning wasn't over yet.
Epic Arizona morning. Look at the fifths. Oh, he's 7 on this offside too. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. No shrinky too. That's a good bull, Bob. Yes, sir. It's a real good bull. Congratulations, man.
Well, you know, buddy, when you hunt with the master, good things happen.
Well, it just couldn't have got any better than this morning. We had a beautiful setting to call these bulls in. We had this beautiful Arizona Monarch show up in our meadow, and Bob made a perfect shot. What a great guy to hunt with. It just doesn't get any better here at Elk Camp.
All right, Bob. That's what I call an epic Arizona morning right there, man. That was fun.
I was trying to think of a word to use walking down here, and it's hard to put it into words. I mean, you and I have been trying to put this together for a long time.
Yeah, we've been talking for probably about a decade and a half about your bonus points and what unit to apply for, and it after all this long wait and you staying young, and it all came together for us this morning.
I think you found such a perfect place to hunt this morning because I was so old. But I'm glad that CVA was awesome with us.
Oh man!
And you helped me get set up with them, and they put together a great package.
Sure.
And
cherish it forever.
Yep. So
great job again, Bob.
thanks, my friend.
Fantastic to
Really
hunt with you.
appreciate it. Oh, it was good.
Great to meet you, and we shared
You're probably glad I
memorable
only
moment
well, it's going to be another 20, probably 30 years before I draw a tag, so you're safe.
Maybe you'll draw a random tag next year.
Well,
You never know.
maybe.
Yeah, we'll go do this again.
Well, let's do something with him, huh?
Yeah.
I guess the overall experience down here was nothing like I'd witnessed before, and I kind of expected it to be special, and it was truly special, but just the number of mature bulls in the bunches, the aggressive calling between the bulls, and how Steve would get those bulls worked up. He knew what to say, when to say it and how to say it.
I'd like to introduce you to our innovative and cutting-edge elk hunting program in Arizona called Zero Hunt Fees. For those of you who have ever dreamed about or even considered a Trophy Arizona elk hunt, this program puts a fully guided hunt with me and my team of guides completely within your reach, regardless of finances. It's an incredible program and a great opportunity for you to go on a Trophy Arizona elk hunt with us. And you may even get the opportunity to appear on Elk Camp TV. Interested to find out more? Please log on to my website or give me a call.